I mean, it's kind of been mentioned in previous races. In this category in particular, PB difference doesn't necessarily indicate anything just because of the sheer amount that RNG variance can cause, but we'll certainly see.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Earlier today, we had Bernard actually already raced today. This is the second race today. He raced against me, actually. And we had a 5-minute PB difference going into the race, and we finished a minute apart from each other.
Yeah, certainly can happen. Alright, and we are off. And they're already into the tutorial. So as you can see, if you've never seen Undertale speedrunning before, a large component of going fast in this game is the quality of one's text mashing. This is an RPG, there's a lot of text, and there's a couple of keys we can use to advance the text. The rate at which runners are progressing is typically measured in what we call text boxes per second. You can go up to a maximum of 15, but there are very few runners who can reliably do that, so if you just see the text going by very, very quickly, you know the runners are typically achieving what they're aiming to do.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those games where there's a button that'll, like, instant a text box, but another one that'll actually...
So first instance of menuing in this game. Are they going to do well? Alright, I think they got it. It's very technical. You need to do like 5-hole inputs. I can't do it. Speaking of precise stuff, the Frogget fight here is a little silly, to put it lightly. You see there the way that fights work in this game, where if you want to attack an enemy, you need to get a hit as centrally as possible to make it stronger. Due to the RNG that can occur in damage rolls as well, though, it is possible to get a perfect hit on that Frogget and still not kill it in one hit, which is particularly important because that Frogget gives you enough experience to level up to level 2, which speeds up the rest of your fights in this area. Being that this is the Genocide route, we have to take not only as many encounters as the game throws at us, we have to actively grind for encounters until there's nothing left in the areas.
Yeah, I guess we could go into that more during this long hallway. So each specific region of the game will have a specific number, and we need to kill that number of enemies in order for the game to keep us on the Genocide route at the end of that area. That Frogget, although being incredibly important to leveling up, actually does not increment our counter. The first counter incrementing fights we're going to be doing are in this room and the next room. We're going to grind to 12 kills. There are 2 types of enemies that you can find in these 2 rooms, a Frogget and a Whimsun. Frogget's at 30 HP, and you cannot kill them in one turn. Whimsuns, you can just mash the button and they will die. So obviously you're hoping to find more of those.
Yeah. Generally speaking, this is a major reset point for people, but Ruins is kind of just a hellish reset fest overall because Laurie mentioned how we're going to be grinding up to about 12 kills here. The Ruins total is 20 kills, but we actually segment the Ruins grind into 2 halves due to the fact that we're getting encounters here pretty quickly, but as the runners get more kills on the counter, the encounter rate is going to start diminishing. It's going to take longer for them to get those encounters, and later on in the Ruins, the encounter pools allow us to get double or even triple encounters, and when the encounter rate is low enough, it becomes preferable to be getting more kills per encounter. So when there's like 7, 8 left, we want to move on and hopefully get more encounters later on with a greater number of enemies. But to get the Whimsun at all, the faster enemy, as we're saying here, it's random, as you would expect, and it's also not a probability play. The Frogget is 66% chance, and the Whimsun is 33% chance per encounter. So as I say, this is a major reset point if you're grinding for a PB.
Yeah. Has anybody ever seen 12 Whimsuns in the first...
It's probably happened at least once, but it's, like I say, not reliable at all. Once me and Tommy do the Genocide task, though, you'll see it then. Except for if it turns out to be faster to just do the second half the whole way through. Maybe that's true. We'll find out when we do it.
I know the best Whimsun count I know is actually my race earlier today. As I mentioned earlier, Bernard has already raced today against me. And in that race, I got 10 Whimsuns and grind.
Jeez. Yeah, that's pretty, wow. Pretty lucky.
Yeah. I still lost.
The thing is, though, as we're going to see in a couple of minutes, when the runners, I'd say in about a minute or so, assuming average RNG, the runners are probably going to move on from this segment and move on towards the second half. The second half is the real sticking point for Ruins. Even if you get past this section without resetting, again, if you're going for a good pace, you then have to deal with the second half of the Ruins. And I mentioned you can get double encounters, you can get triple encounters, you can still get single encounters, which at that point is really, really bad, and that will just, again, in PB attempts, force some flat-out resets. In a race like this, they obviously won't reset, but it could amount to a substantial lead being made for one of the runners, depending how it pans out. We're just going to have to see.
Oh, and also you're seeing, we mentioned the RNG between Frogget and Whimsun, but as you might notice, there's actually RNG within the Frogget. The Frogget can use several attacks, and one of them you can instantly end by running. And that's good to do, because that means the attack just takes less time.
Exactly, yeah. So that's his kill 13 that Bernard just got, and Bradley going to his 13th kill. This room also generates single encounters, so we may as well just get an encounter from this one.
Yep.
And now the remainder of the grind is going to take place in this triple rock room. So this is where, like I say, real RNG fest here. Ideally, what the runners would like to see here is 2 encounters of Frogget and Whimsun. Just like that, triple mold small, precisely what you want. This isn't the worst in the world, though. It is 3 kills, so to get 3 kills from one encounter, not the worst in the world. We just don't want to see the single mold small. It's terrible. It's a 23% chance to happen, so it always happens when you have 2 kills left, like in my race.
Nah.
Both getting a wow. Triple mold small on both screens.
So I noticed they seem to be killing the mold smalls in a different order. Does that matter, or are they just kind of mean?
It completely doesn't make a difference for that fight. It can potentially make a difference in fights where the enemies actually have different attacks or take a different number of turns to kill. In that fight, it makes no difference. You can even like leave one wounded and start hurting another. It's
yeah. So I've seen people do all sorts of things with the triple mold smalls here, so I just don't know if I'm getting memed on or not. I'm pretty new to this category, so although I kind of understand the route and how it works, there's some things that are just kind of unbeknownst to me.
Okay, so with some favorable RNG, Bernard could be in pretty good shape here. Triple mold small into Frogget Whimsun. If he gets one more Frogget Whimsun, that is basically a perfect end to the grind. It's the best case scenario that he can hope for, but it is, you know, about as unlikely as any other single encounter, so hopefully he just gets anything at this point except for the single mold small, which Bradley actually did just get on his screen.
Yeah, I was going to mention
23% chance. 23% chance for him to get majorly screwed by RNG here.
Mm-hmm.
So it will happen. I told you, it always happens. The fact, though, that he's skipped the encounter and is now looking for another double, I mean, probability-wise, it's the sensible play, but I don't know. Considering you always get the encounter, on a practical level, I don't really agree with this strategy.
Okay, there's a double mold small.
Okay, good. I'm glad, but, like, you really... I think at a certain point, you kind of just have to bite the bullet with this grind and not leave things up to chance.
It's kind of playing with fire, but I mean, being on 19 kills, just in any area 1 kill away is horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it is a probability play to do what he just did. It's bad enough to get 1 single mold small encounter. To get 2 in a row is basic, like, it's 23% by 23%. It's less than like a 1 in 16 chance, but it could happen. And what better time for it to happen than in a tournament race?
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh, epic meme, guys.
So, for context, we allow the modding of music in this game. In particular, there is a song that likes to get VODs muted. So, just kind of have to allow this. I think this just... I like how it resets every... you get these but nobody came encounters every screen once you kill all the enemies that you need.
Yeah, this essentially lets the player know that they have fulfilled the genocide requirement for the current area, so you do want to see these. It can be a bit irritating to see them come up again and again, but at least it means you're not going to lock yourself out of the genocide ending. Because that's important.
And especially, like, the normal But Nobody Came song is very kind of creepy.
I think it's pretty good. I like dark ambient music, so pretty cool. Right. So
I mean, yeah, I like it. Like, it's creepy.
Going to be coming into the first boss fight as well, and very difficult boss fights in video games. Oh boy, Undertale has these hard boss fights. Hopefully, the runners aren't going to struggle at all with Toriel. It could happen. If you've seen how many neutral runs end on the Toriel fight, it's tough. Tough fight.
Yeah. In categories like neutral and all categories, you have to deal with, like, hand. But in this category, we just hand it to her.
Alright, GG to the runners. That was very well played.
Yeah.
So in all seriousness, the boss fights for the most part in Genocide become an absolute joke. There are 2 boss fights which are considerably difficult, but aside from that, we just blaze through everything in the route.
Mm-hmm. I kind of both understand and don't understand why that's a design choice. But honestly, the only thing I don't like about it is that it gives me less bosses to mod in music for.
I mean, there is a well-established lore reason for it, which, I mean...
I forget the lore.
The lore reason for it is that monsters don't have physical defenses. They're made of magic. The damage that you inflict to monsters is based on your killing intent. The more you want to hurt them, the more damage you do to them.
Oh, okay.
So, you really hate the monsters in Genocide.
Yeah. I don't believe that, though, because there's a monster I want to... Actually, nope, that's a lie. Nope, never mind. Forget I said anything.
So the runner's pretty squared away coming out of Ruins as well, despite how much potential there is for Ruins to really create a lead somewhere. This is fairly closely fought so far, and I wouldn't say that Snowdin is a particularly volatile area, but there's a lot of time loss that can creep in across multiple encounters in Snowdin. Like, with Ruins, one bad encounter like the single mode small can really ruin everything, but with Snowdin, the time loss kind of just creeps up over multiple encounters.
Yeah. Snowdin is also kind of bigger than it looks in the fact that there are a bunch of mini-bosses here that do not increment your kill count. So you have to kill these 4 mini-bosses, and they don't help you with your genocide counter.
Yeah, it is important to become familiar with what increments the kill counter and what doesn't, because as I alluded to before, if at any point in the run you reach the end of area boss without the kill count being satisfied, you lock yourself out the genocide ending. Like, this is one of those speedruns where you can fail the run partway through by not fulfilling the requirements.
Yeah. And using this box, the box is a storage system. We don't really use it. However, in the very first box is a free tough glove, which is an attack upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Bernard going for a small optimization here as well, where previously we've seen the runners are typically just trying to get, good hits on enemies to deal damage, as we mentioned before. In certain circumstances, though, where you know that there's going to be varying degrees of 2-hit kills, we can go for a more inaccurate second hit just to get it to land sooner. It saves a little bit of time every time you perform it.
Yeah, and it adds up. It's good to know which enemies, do and don't need accurate. In my first couple runs, I was trying, to triple hit Temis, but they have, 3 HP or, not a lot of...
There's a surprising amount of knowledge to just get to grips with all the small optimizations that you can do in this category, such as the fact that both runners just encountered Ice Cap. To do with what I said about getting staggered hits to save a little bit of time. The first time you encounter Ice Cap at level 6, you do need a central hit to be able to reliably one-shot it, but then once you get a level up, it's far safer to go for a staggered hit to hit it slightly sooner. And as far as, again, speaking of battle optimizations, Lesser Dog's always a 2-turn fight, so it's a little faster to use turn 1 to just use the stick, since that lowers their defense on the second turn. Then you can just go for any hit at all, and it will immediately one-shot them.
Yeah. There's a kind of meme in the community about dropping the stick for RNG manipulation, and trust me, I've been running this game for like a week or two. I have dropped the stick before Lesser Dog before, and then regretted it like a second later.
Because the best strats are the ones that lose time for no reason.
Yeah. Listen, we're skipping, say it.
So this is the first area in Snowdin where the runners are going to be getting an actual random encounter. On this bridge, they're going to get either this, Ice Cap and Jerry, or they can also get Ice Cap, Childrake, and Jerry. This basically signals the start of the grind proper. This is what we're going to see for the rest of the Snowdin grind, one of those two encounters. It is better for the first half of the grind to see just Ice Cap and Jerry, as both runners did. You can get those single encounters over with quicker, and the encounter rate is high enough that it's preferable to take a single kill each time, especially considering whilst Jerry is on screen, enemy attack animations last a couple of seconds longer per turn, and since Childrake takes multiple turns to kill, that does amount to quite a bit of extra time. That's the gradual time loss that I was alluding to. If you just keep getting the triple encounters early on in the grind, it loses more time than you'd think.
And that's yet another mini-boss that does not change the kill count.
Yeah. And the order of killing the enemies there is no accident. By killing the female dog first, we managed to lower the male dog's defense considerably, and it turns it again into another one-hit kill, saving a couple of turns.
They both kind of have different reactions to losing their partner in that battle. Well, Dogamy is the one that we saw kill second. He gets very sad, as you noticed, and just kind of lets himself die in one hit upon Doggeressa dying. Doggeressa gets like very angry and has a lot faster of attacks and takes 2 hits usually.
So coming up on the last mini-boss here, Greater Dog, and this is also going to be a 3-hit turn, albeit one which can potentially be sped up by running into a specific attack animation if it happens. It's a little bit of a shame that we do segment this grind into 2 halves. It would theoretically be faster to do half of the grind before you really go anywhere in the area to try and reach level 8 before these fights. As with good damage rolls, it actually turns them into 2-hit kill fights. But the RNG is far too unfavorable to reliably do that. Again, once I do the task, you'll see that. Don't worry. I'll make it happen. Fastest route. Very difficult obstacles here.
So this screen that they're on right now with this cutscene is the last screen before Snowdin Town, and Snowdin Town is the screen immediately before the Papyrus fight. So they're going to be using this screen for the rest of the grind. When this cutscene is active, there's no encounters here, so you have to like walk off the screen and back on, and then you can start getting encounters.
Yep. So, as I mentioned before, in an ideal scenario, the first few encounters that these guys get, they want to see just the double encounter, Ice Cap and Jerry, if they can. So this is a bad encounter for Bernard, this is a good encounter for Bradley. And then once the encounter rate drops low enough, we want to start seeing the triples so that we can get multiple kills per encounter. And under no circumstances do we want to kill Jerry if we have any choice in the matter, because not only does Jerry make the enemy attacks take a lot longer, he's also got a truckload of defense and takes about 9 hits to kill. So whenever possible, we'll be sparing Jerry, which we are actually permitted to do. A common misconception about the Genocide route is that you are not allowed to spare anything. More specifically, you're not allowed to spare any unique encounters. But for just generic random encounters like these, you can spare as much as you want as long as you fulfill the kill requirement.
So, like, that's I should have clarified earlier. When I mentioned killing all those mini-bosses that don't increment the kill counter, we're not just doing that to show off. You do need to do that to keep your genocide route open.
Yeah, there's generally, like, you can consider it as every area, there's a list of named mobs that you need to kill, and then beyond that, you just need to get a number of kills on top of that from anywhere else.
Yeah, you need to get a number of generic encounters on top of that.
Now, the kill requirement for Snowden is 16, and we can generally tell if you've lost count as the runners are going through the grind. Like, you might think, oh, I don't know how many kills are remaining. In Snowden, you can generally assess how far through the grind they are based on the music. As the encounter rate drops off, the audio track is just going to get further through every time you do it. So at a certain point, I'll probably be able to guess as an encounter happens how many is left and what the runner's strategy is going to be during the fight. Probably be a couple of encounters time. This sounds like 6 left, 5 left. I'll be able to tell
dang,
next encounter.
Don't you have a large brain?
Not a big enough brain because I don't have one record.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, what they do is, like me, is there's also a lot of people will just use a counter on live.
Yes, a lot of people do opt to keep track of their kills by some external method. Maybe, like, I don't know, if you've got time, actually write it down somewhere or use a program like LiveSplit. I just try and keep mental track of it, but
I did try keeping mental track of it for a bit. I can't count.
It's easy to lose count. Okay, this is... Yeah, Spare Mason. He's either at 3 left or 2 left now. I'll definitely be able to tell on this encounter as it happens. So at the point that Bradley is in the grind now, like I say, getting a single kill like that, that is not favorable at this point. Okay, Bernard has 2 left.
So we're hoping for a triple on Bernard's side.
Yeah. That is a bad step count as well. That's a really long encounter. So, yeah, at least he got a good encounter out of it. It took him ages to get that encounter, but this is a good one. He's going to kill Icecap and Chilldrake, and then he is going to peace out of there. And now, so here's the thing. Assuming that they're on the same pace, assuming they're on the same place in the grind, and that Bradley also has 2 left, well, as we see, this puts him in the situation where he now needs to kill Jerry. And you can see that it's not a very good time fighting Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, you could say it's a bad time. Funny meme. I hate memes.
9.
Yeah, Jerry takes a while. It sucks.
10.
So he doesn't,
6.
quote-unquote, need to kill Jerry, but Jerry counts as a kill, and at that point he has 1 kill remaining. So he could get another encounter, but as I mentioned, the encounter rate drops off the more kills you have. At 1 left, it is quite a steep increase. It would actually be slower to grind for another encounter rather than kill Jerry. Like, as long as it takes to kill Jerry, it's still faster than grinding for another encounter. So at that point, it's kind of just making the best of a bad situation. And based on how you can either get double or triple encounters, unfortunately, it's always a coin flip, whether you need to kill Jerry or not. Like, you're always going to, like, be 2 or 3 left. You might get a double or a triple, or, you know, like, it always results in a coin flip, basically, whether you need to kill Jerry or not. Oh, and yeah, Papyrus is dead. That happened.
Who?
So, Waterfall, in my opinion, this is really the first area that starts really testing the runner's ability to execute like very tight and small optimizations. By tight, I don't necessarily mean that stuff is particularly technical or difficult, but there's a lot of very small details to do here, and making small mistakes can result in some execution-based time loss, such as in the Undyne spear chase sections. If you get caught by spears a couple of times, then you're starting to lose seconds everywhere. So Bernard on the left side also opting for one of those tiny optimizations that I mentioned, entering the Undyne cutscene here, where if you move up to the northern wall, it scrolls the camera up slightly, which means that as it scrolls up and down to see Undyne there, it actually takes fewer frames to do that. It doesn't save very much time, but since the time save is there for no effort, you may as well take it.
What a nice hat.
Drawing flowers, because why not? So yeah, skipping an encounter here. As we mentioned, there are certain unique encounters that you need to take throughout each area. Aaron is not one of them. Aaron is treated as a generic encounter, and since that encounter takes guaranteed 2 turns, with even perfect hits, it is just not treated as being worth it to take that encounter. We do, however, take this Washua, which is still a 2-shot, but we can do with staggered hits, as you see there.
Bradley choosing to kill Aaron.
This is a little surprising, yeah. This can result in some weird scenarios, because Waterfall being another area with an even kill count, you need 18 kills going through Waterfall. It's another area where you can get odd or even encounters, though. So, based on what you have remaining, you could have the need to get an extra encounter because you got a single encounter rather than a double. Like, it can be weird. So it's not necessarily a bad strategy to get as many kills as possible. Like, the game just gives you that encounter for free, so I can see the logic behind just taking it for safety, just in case you get a single somewhere.
Waterfall is one of those areas that I really kind of don't understand, because I don't know, it's weird. In the later parts of the grind, you kind of go through well grinding, and I always mess something up. So
it's difficult to assess, yeah. It's a difficult section to assess how to do optimally, especially while you're going through it. I mean, within reason, you kind of just take what the game gives you, but there are several encounters that you can get in the second half while you're grinding, one of them being Washua and Aaron as a double, and a lot of runners simply opt to kill the Washua and then spare the Aaron, because again, they don't want to take 2 turns to kill a single enemy. But
yeah.
Obviously, if you're at 2 enemies left, you'd never do that. But it's considered an option in other circumstances, especially because if you are at 1 enemy left, it can actually be optimal to end up at 1 enemy left in this area. Unlike the other areas, the final room of Waterfall is so long that even at 1 left, we still generally get an encounter by the end of the area. And if you're in that position and then you get a single enemy, it's the fastest possible encounter you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So the runners aren't necessarily going to be avoiding being at 1 left in this area like they are in the other areas.
Mm-hmm. Also, in this area is a pretty cool thing. So at the beginning of Snowden, we got the Tough Glove, which helped us deal more damage. It's not very good anymore. So once Bernard finishes up this encounter, he's going to go onto this screen and grab the ballet shoes, which really the best thing we can find in Waterfall. Gonna opt to drop his other weapon.
What is this menuing meme?
I know dropping the stick is the meme, and dropping the Tough Glove is something you usually don't see.
Alright, so random encounters start, and the strategy is going to depend on which encounter this is. Okay, so I think that Bernard is going to spare the Aaron, as I said. It is possible to also get single Aaron here, and some runners just flat out skip that encounter. Yep, there we go. Skipping. So where does this stand right now? He got Washua, got the double mold, and then he got the Washua. So he's at 4 kills right now. Sharon will be 5, 6. So after Temmie, he'll have 7 kills. He'll have 11 left after Temmie. That's when the grind actually really starts. Albeit the first couple of encounters in it are scripted. So here's Sharon. This is always a fixed encounter. And we are seeing here how the way that the runners are getting hits now has been changed from the Tough Glove. It's now 3 individual cursors, which, again, you just want to land as centrally as possible. This is now very important, though. Hit accuracy is going to matter more and more the more the run progresses. It's not terribly important during the grind, save for a couple of enemies that you do need accurate hits to one-shot. But against the upcoming boss, it's extremely important, which I'm sure we'll talk more about as we get there.
So Bradley's going to be at, I think, 9 left after Temmie.
That should be both of them then, because I think Bernard's also going to be at 9. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, no, Bernard ran from 2 errands that Bradley killed.
Of course, yes, okay. Yeah.
So
Bernard's
Bradley's going to be at 9, Bernard's going to be at 11 left once we kill the Temmie, which is a little bit after Glad Tummy.
Yeah, so this kind of divide is exactly why it can be difficult to assess this area, both how fast you're going and how fast you are relative to another racer. Like, you can see that as far as the screens they're on, there's been quite a divide that's happened. Bernard is now significantly ahead, but he has more kills that he needs to get. So this could easily level itself out by the end of the area, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, depending on the luck of both racers as well.
So the second spear chase section. In a nutshell, there is extensive manipulation used in this section where the spears spawn on the floor, as you can see, and they always spawn in the direction that you're heading. The game basically just reads your inputs, and it spawns the spears in the direction that you're holding on the frame that you are moving when they spawn. So it's possible to misdirect the spears by just forcing them to spawn in a specific direction, and then just diving the other way. You can quite reliably avoid them like that. Alright. Like, little bits of improvement possible throughout that section, just from cutting corners a bit more optimally, but generally speaking, you'd be pretty grateful to just get through here with no spear collisions. It only costs a couple of seconds every time you hit a spear, but it's time loss you really want to do without, ideally.
Mm-hmm. Also, I really like how you can spawn spears at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, you can just spawn them completely out of bounds. Alright. Text boxes with the name. See that? One character name. All the time saved. Gotta take all the time saved. Terrible.
Hey, you let...
Terrible.
I hear my dog barking.
We're gonna get it? Ah, no Jesus, first glitch. Unfortunate. It makes absolutely no difference to the run, but if you manage to basically move diagonally off the corner pixel to go off, like, both vertices at the same time, you actually don't enter the water and you just walk on top of the water. It does absolutely nothing, but it looks kind of cool. Alright, don't miss it. There you go. You want to actually slightly stagger these hits against both Glad Dummy and against Temmie coming up. I mean, most runners are, you're just going to mash it, try and get the fight over as soon as possible. Both these enemies have 5 HP, and if you mash super quickly, it's actually possible to do less than 5 damage in one hit. So you want to wait at least a few frames before attacking.
So Bernard's at 11 to go. My dog is no longer barking at the neighbors.
Alright, so as I mentioned before, the first couple of encounters in this area, these are scripted. And that second enemy, that's not a mold small, that's a mold big, and that enemy does require a considerably accurate hit in order to two-shot it. You need at least 70 damage to kill that in one hit. So if this pattern's anything to go by, I'm assuming that Bernard's going to skip this Aaron as well. But then it's like, it's weird, like 3 enemies skipped going through the grind. Strange situation to put oneself in, but it is apparently optimal. I don't know how this works. Oh, this is poor RNG here. Now that the encounters are being fully randomly generated, this, like I say, this is just random, and Aaron is just categorically bad. Now he's taking the random Aarons, and this kind of shows you why Aaron sucks. We've had a level up, and even with perfect accuracy with the shoes, like 3 completely central hits and level 10, you still don't get a one-hit kill on Aaron. Like, look at there on Bradley's side. Perfect, 92 damage, doesn't one-shot. Aaron sucks. We never want to take Aaron.
I think he has like 100 HP total.
And this RNG. That's what you want to see at 1 left, but not with extra encounters potentially. Especially considering, all right, so Waterfall is very weird in the way that it generates encounters. All of the areas use, specific encounter pools. Waterfall is unique in that it has a value for generating encounters based on your last encounter. On top of every other encounter pool, there's a 7% chance for the game to give you the same encounter that you just had. So you're actually pretty much more likely to see repeat encounters in this area than anything else. So if you go to Temmie, then you don't want to get stuck on getting Temmie over and over again.
Why?
Reasons. Toby Fox just likes messing with people, I guess. Considering his programming skill, maybe it was an accident. Maybe that's just a bug. It's as likely as anything else. Oh, so, okay, I guess he's done? Or, no. Okay, yeah, because, that encounter was a bit early, so that actually makes sense. He's got 2 left. So, unfortunately, Bernard is really just getting screwed by RNG right now. He's had several bad encounters, and now he needs an extra encounter. This just sucks for him. Is Bradley going to get the optimal finish? Because that was a late encounter. Is this? There you go, he's ahead.
Oh my goodness.
He was at 1 left, and he got the optimal encounter. As I said, if you have 1 left, Temmie is the best thing to get. And wow, I'm really surprised that the RNG was so unfavorable for Bernard, so good for Bradley. It's actually reversed the lead.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Considerable.
That is a good lead change for Bradley.
All right, now the question is he able to maintain this lead?
We'll see. We're going to be heading into one of the 2 bosses that Genocide actually makes very difficult. So after a little bit of cutscene, we'll be able to see if Bradley can keep it through that fight.
Mm-hmm. There is a little bit of difference that can crop up throughout the Undyne fight. Haven't really gone into detail about how this fight is going to actually operate yet. So this is one of the actual difficult fights in the game. Albeit, there's not really much doubt that the runners are going to finish the fight. It's assumed that at a high skill level, runners are always going to be able to win this fight. But what really matters is finishing this fight quickly. You really can't afford to take any turns out to heal in this fight because the runners are going to be going for what we like to call the quick kill. This is a loosely cycle-based fight. Like, the attacks are pretty much scripted. The 15th attack is very slow. And it is possible to do enough damage to finish the fight in 14 turns. To do that, the runners need to use very, very accurate hits with the ballet shoes. A perfect hit with the ballet shoes deals about 750 damage on average. And to do 23,000 damage in 14 turns, the runners need to do about 1650 damage per turn. So you really cannot afford many mistakes here. You can miss some singular cursor hits, but you can't really afford more than 12 over the total course of the fight. And missing the quick kill is basically going to cost the runners 15 seconds and change. Mm-hmm. So as you see there with Bradley, 1638. So basically, that was a very accurate hit. There was almost no mistake there. And this is still just about not really going to be good enough if that repeats throughout the whole fight. You need to be really accurate in this fight to get the quick kill. It's a 2-frame window for a perfect hit in the center. 30 FPS game, and like I say, it's a 2-frame window, so 15th of a second to get each of those central cursor hits. Tricky pattern there, and it's a little unfortunate to take damage in this fight, because I have heard that it does actually slow down the remaining attacks if you take damage in this fight. I don't know that for certain, and I haven't really noticed a difference, but assuming that's true, you don't want this fight to take any longer than it has to.
That sounds like maybe if you get hit during the green soul attacks, but during the red soul attacks, I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure.
Because I know that's a thing in the neutral or pacifist fight against Undyne. Getting hit by the attacks while in green makes Undyne get mad at you, and she keeps repeating the first attack.
Bradley's actually looking pretty good right now, though, I'm not going to lie. These are
absolutely.
Good hits. 2 perfects and then a 1600. This is not too bad. Okay, still good, yeah. I'm quite impressed with both of these guys in this fight so far. I'm terrible at aiming the ballet shoes. I don't know why, but I'm terrible at this weapon.
Oh.
Okay.
That was a shaky hit. it's like his first hit that was below 60.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see how it goes, the remaining hits. Alright.
Yeah,
Alright,
maybe
I see you.
feel like more perfect, that would be good.
Bradley actually looking a little low on HP as well. Come on, dude, I believe in you. This, yeah, I'm not sure this is good enough now. That's looking like a little too much green. Even with a perfect, I think that's going to be a few hundred HP off.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's just going to be...
Yeah. Now,
nope.
At the very least, there's so little HP remaining that he is going to be able to mash the last hit. Like, if you just...
Yeah.
If you mash the final hit on Undyne as quickly as possible, you always deal about 600 damage. So, yeah, staggering it a little. That same damage is applied even if you completely mash the hit. So... And Bernard also not really getting the quick kill, so that would have gone quite a long way towards helping to even the gap between these two guys. But unfortunately, not able to claw that time back.
Yeah. And that
no
kill.
Hit fight though.
Yeah, very good. No hit fight is impressive. So yeah, they both got what I call the okay fight, because like obviously you want the quick kill, but it's the next and. Considering I'm not great at timing hits, I usually take that fight.
I'm like, I have a 106 in this category. The race that I did yesterday, I actually got a gold waterfall in that run, and I didn't even get the quick kill on Undyne. I suck at the quick kill. So I've still got like at least 15 seconds that can come off just from actually getting good at getting the quick kill. It's ridiculous. Alright, so Genocide is about as close as you're going to get to seeing a glitchless run in this game, but this is one of the areas where the runners can actually use a glitch. There's something that runners can go for here called early pan. Let's see. Yeah, Bradley lining up for it. So with a few specific inputs, we can... Bradley missed it, unfortunately. Alright, well, this is something that could potentially give Bernard some of the time back, if Bernard gets this.
Yeah.
Bradley
just missed it entirely there.
Yeah, it is a quote-unquote frame-perfect trick you need to do there. There is a specific setup you can use so that you can interact with the bag of dog food on the frame that you enter the cutscene. Bernard missed it as well, unfortunately. So if that worked, we'd be able to retain control during the cutscene. And then by doing that, we can move over to the fridge where Bernard's getting the noodles right now. But by interacting with it in a certain way, we can also simultaneously pick up the burnt pan for reasons. Like, it's treated as being in the same item list as the noodles or something. This game's really weird. But now that Bradley is going to need to go out of his way to get the burnt pan, like you can see he's taking a detour to the right here after this encounter, you're going to see just how much time it would have saved to not have had to do that. Bernard's going to have to do the same thing here as well. So, like I say, Bernard's not going to get the time back, but you'll see.
Oh, also, because he's in the lead, we finally managed to switch to Bradley's audio to see that he has a mod of Deltarunes back.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Bradley did not get the noodles. I don't know, either he forgot about it, or he's very confident in his ability to do Sans without a heal. We'll have to see. Like, I want to say that no one in this tournament yet has actually died on Sans, and I hope it stays that way, but the potential's always there, because
there's been a Sans death.
It is a surprisingly difficult fight. Like, we kind of take it for granted. Again, like, you know, high skill level, you just assume that people are going to be able to do it, but it's a surprisingly, you know, unforgiving fight, and all it takes is a couple of major errors, and suddenly you're in a very awkward spot for the fight.
Yeah, there has been a Sans death in the tournament.
Ooh, brutal.
You want to know what's even more sad? The person who died against Sans still won that race.
Oh my! Did the other runner forfeit?
No, what happened was, the other runner, me by the way, healed during Sans, forgot this game has Remembered Cursor, and had the Tough Glove equipped, not only wasting that turn, but then had the Tough Glove animation for like a third of the fight.
Oh boy, okay.
Because I waited until the halfway point where you can spare Sans to re-equip, to not waste another turn.
I don't know if that's as much of a throw as my race where I equipped the knife and the locket, but that's pretty... wow, yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about me throwing that race? You want to talk about me wasting like 30 seconds because I got lost in spears too?
Oh, I actually did see that, yeah.
I don't know how I did. Yeah, I remember you being there because I told you to look away.
I mean, for that section, and this is kind of just a PSA to runners in general and anyone looking to learn the category, for that section, Undyne loosely follows you underneath the floor.
Oh, yeah, I know
you
that.
can kind of just follow Undyne's path underneath the floor.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that. Trust me, I know that. I just died or something inside. Yeah, but yeah, no. That's what I think of when I think of the Sans fight. I run another JRPG, I run Octopath, and that game, I don't play with Remember Cursor, and I'm too used to it.
Mm. Oh yeah, and that was another boss fight. That went by quickly.
Yeah. One of the best songs in the game. And then when you ask, is there a run where you can actually fight this boss, your answer is low percent.
So neither of these guys going for empty gun. Terrible. It's faster, but terrible. Always use empty gun. Makes you feel like a rhythm game player.
The empty gun moves very fast. So as we're heading into core here, what's going on is... So the pan has kind of 4 cursors, and there's what's called quads, which are perfect hits with the pan, so all 4 cursors, and that's like the best thing. However, the pan moves, the cursors move slower than the gun.
Yeah, it's ultimately preference which a runner wants to use, because for the fights that require quads, you need a quad with both the pan and the gun to actually get a one-hit kill, so there's no actual difference between using the weapons other than the cursor speed, which is ultimately just preference, but many runners seem to prefer the slower cursors on the pan. I prefer the gun, but it's a pretty uncommon position to have.
I prefer the gun because, I don't know, I think I'm just afraid of early pan.
And so, unfortunately, Eva Bradley taking a 2-hit kill on Astigmatism. Astigmatism is still one of the quote-unquote weaker enemies that is easier to one-shot, but it's the toughest of the lot and requires at least 120 damage to one-shot it. So it's quite easy to miss if you actually are a little inaccurate with the hit. Although what's even easier to miss is, I believe his next encounter is going to be Night Magic, and this is where you really need the hit accuracy. Both of these enemies require a quad hit to one-shot. So as close as that was, you can see that that was barely off. It looked like maybe 1 frame error for a couple of the cursors. You just don't get the one-shot on the enemy. This is very unforgiving.
Oh, Bernard just 1 hit away from quad on the Night.
And I'm sure what these runners are in the back of their minds hoping to not happen right now is the ultimate insult to injury during this grind, where you miss the first hit on an enemy and then you get a quad on the second hit when you don't need it anymore. I hate getting those.
Yeah, in the race that Bernard did earlier today, I believe, on top of, you know, that thing you just mentioned happening, Bernard got like 2 or 3 single Night encounters.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you don't want them.
Yeah, so the encounters in this area are something to talk about just in and of themselves. Core and Hotland are treated as the same area for kill count. So once you reach Hotland, you need 40 kills. You get 5 kills naturally going through Hotland, so now that we've reached Core, you need 35 kills. The first 9 are scripted and end on that Night Magic. So now that both runners are past Night Magic, the encounters are now being randomly generated. There's, you know, lots of different enemy combinations you can get, and they're basically looking to get anything that's not involving a Night Magic. You can either get a single Night, a single magic, or both of them at the same time. I mean, if you get Night Magic together, and you can reliably get quads, it's the same as any other encounter, but you need to get the quad hits. Like Bernard did just there, so that was kind of good and bad simultaneously. It was a single encounter, which is bad for the kill count, but it was a very accurate hit. And
Bradley with
on
a
the other
triple.
hand, a triple on Bradley's side, wow. So that's really uncommon, and getting as many of these as you can while going through is nothing but good. Nice quad. On Whimsalot. Most important enemy to get him on. Just replicate that as much as you can, dude.
Today I got a quad on gun on a whim.
Now, I don't know, it's hard for me to pay attention to both at the same time, but I think aside from Bernard's single magic, there hasn't been any extra night-night magic so far, right?
Nah, you would be correct.
I did have to say something.
You just had to say something.
Yeah. I always do this. I say something and it doesn't happen. Like when I said, "Oh, Duke can't possibly miss the Undying Quick Kill at this point, right?"
You're not allowed
Dude,
to talk.
I'm really good at this. I'm really
You're
good
not allowed
at
to talk anymore.
cursing runs. Yeah. Cursed run. And there you go, the second turn quad as well. I mentioned that as well. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready for this? Wouldn't it be a shame if one of these guys died on Sans? I'm sure there's no way that these guys could mess up the Sans fight, though. They're both very good runners. That was a weird hit for Bernard. Like, that was super consistent timing, but I think it was one frame off perfect each time. That's weird.
Am I stupid, or did Bradley just miss a kill? Okay. Did not get him a stigma.
Okay, both our guys are going to be pretty close towards coming towards the random segment of the grind as well. At the end of core, these guys are actually basically going to stop grinding for encounters at 7 left, because in the northern area of the core, there is the warrior path where you can get 7 scripted kills from a couple of scripted encounters, which is much faster than grinding for random encounters once the encounter rate is dropped off.
Yeah.
So is he going for his last one here? Yeah, he is. Okay, so this is... I'm assuming that Bradley is needing 2 more here, and...
Yeah, Bradley...
Then, I'm assuming, I hope he doesn't get a single, and I hope I didn't close him to get a single. Alright.
Nope, there's a double.
Alright, didn't manage
I believe at the end of this encounter, Bradley will be at 33, Bernard at 30.
Okay. So...
This is a real close...
Yep, so Bradley going up towards Warrior Path. So the second scripted encounter here is another Night-Night Magic. So there's one more quote-unquote difficult encounter here where you need quads. Alright, just do that again on the next encounter and you're golden. A triple on Bernard's side as well. That might save him an encounter. I'm not sure. Go on, son! There you go. One more time. To victory.
He's going to be at 35 if he killed all in the triple, so he's just going to take 1 and then move on.
Ah, that was so close, dude! That was so close on the magic. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was almost a really cool fight.
Alright, so last encounter for Bradley, and this is a triple. Fairly standard enemies. Again, astigmatism still requires you to be concentrating on what you're doing, though. And the HP count, like, just don't lose focus, because it would be really, really bad for a runner to die at this point. It would just be
double quad fight on Night-Night Magic from
Wow, it's really good.
Absolutely insane, yeah.
Okay, so at this point, this is looking like Bradley's got, I'm gonna call this about a 25-second lead, or maybe, yeah, it's around about a 20 to 25-second lead, I think. And there we go, the
Bradley's got a
message
confirming
encounter that he has got the kills, yes. Right, I need to do a pace check as they're entering Matartan's room.
Oh.
And they're also going to be re-equipping the ballet shoes at this point, as from this point on, the fights don't actually matter. We just want to get through them as quickly as possible, and the ballet shoes have a faster animation. So he entered Metaton's room at 53:33, I believe.
53:33? Okay.
Yep. And
Bernard
this
needs
is looking nearly on the nose, what I said. For Bernard.
Yeah.
51, yeah. So that's about an 18-second difference.
18, damn. This is hella close.
It's close, but at the same time, at this point in the race, assuming they both, have similar execution strategy for Sans, there isn't really anything that Bernard can do to close the gap here is the thing. It's close, but from this point onwards, the run is basically an auto-scroller if the runner doesn't make any mistakes. So this is a tough ask.
This is basically, to win this, Bernard is going to have to no-hit Sans, or not no-hit, but no-heal Sans. And on top of that, he's going to have to hope, on top of having to no-heal Sans, that Bradley will have to heal on Sans.
I mean, you say that, but Bradley doesn't have a heal, remember?
You are correct.
So it's all or nothing here.
Yeah,
go in.
Ride or die for Bradley.
But, I mean, ironic situation where, like I say, Bernard's the one with the heal, but if he wants to win, he can't possibly afford to use it.
Yeah, unless Bradley dies. Which I guess
and Bradley is definitely going to need to use the save point in Judgment Hall here. 10 HP left. Oh, boy.
I just want to give a shout-out to Group E. Some of these races have been stupid. I was in a race where I lost by 13 seconds. Me and Bernard were like less than a minute apart entering Sans earlier. This has been a really fun group.
Oh, damn it! Get the knife in the locket. Do what I did. It loses so much time, but do it.
This has just been a really fun group to watch and be a part of. This tournament in general has been really fun to watch and be a part of.
I am totally going to continue doing that in my races, by the way. If I can tell that I'm far enough ahead at that point, I'm just going to get the knife in the locket and put them on.
Well, the locket is probably... Is it better than the... I mean, does the bandage
It does nothing.
matter?
It does absolutely nothing. It's just for the roleplay meme. I foul name Chara, fucking put on the gear. There you go. Just go all in. Got to get in character for that last fight. And the knife purely loses time because it has a longer attack animation. So, yeah, loses like at least 15 seconds.
This looks synced in a way.
Yeah, roughly. It's if you didn't know any different, like if this was JP language, you pretty much would not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Save and a heal.
Takes a save.
In a weird way, though, I would say that the save itself is borderline irrelevant here. That if he dies, then that's pretty much going to be good game, unless Bernard manages to die in the fight as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Bernard's skipping the save.
Like, maybe he has the stream up, I'm not sure. Maybe he knows that he needs all the possible time save. Or
Bernard was in chat during our race together, but this is a more serious race for him. Probably. No offense to me. So, we could probably just have Bernard concentrating a lot.
Yeah, all I'm saying is this ain't no randomizer. The runners are allowed to watch the stream if they want. Doesn't sound like a bad remix, this, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, so, yeah, this is the fight that everyone has probably spent the last hour waiting for. The Big Daddy. You can't really afford mistakes in this fight.
Don't call Lance the Big Daddy, please. I hate that.
Yeah, I like this remix a lot, actually.
Yeah, this is really good. I always like seeing music mods for some people. I know I have a friend who modded Blue McVillain from Persona 5, which is a really good song.
So this fight is separated into two main phases. The first half of the fight has largely scripted attacks. The runners are fully prepared for what they're going to see, and it's just a matter of avoiding them, which is still not a trivial matter. The second half of the fight is largely randomly generated and is just going to be based on a lot of reaction times. Ironically, I do find the second half of the fight to be considerably easier to actually play. Alright, this part of the track's not exactly fitting, but yeah, whatever.
Is this reality check?
And I just noticed that Bradley hasn't taken damage yet. This is no-hit pace. Okay, alright, real talk? I hope that Bradley knows he's far ahead enough that he can afford to turn this into a no-hit attempt in Phase 2. Because if you go as fast as possible, you pretty much are not going to get a no-hit fight, considering the menu bonus there. You need basically frame-perfect menuing to avoid damage from them. I will have so much respect for him if he turns this into a no-hit attempt. Alright, never mind.
No.
Again, I had to say something. Yeah, I hate to see it.
I mean, it's even just amazing to see somebody get that far into the fight without damage.
I am not sure how he avoided damage on that Gaster Blaster, but okay.
Hitbox.
I'm gonna try and get a no-hit stance during the tournament. Like, I want to get at least one. We'll see.
I just want to like be able to know heal sands at any point in my life.
Would this be a bad time for me to point out that I got a no-hit Sans in my GDQ submission video?
Really? Did you submit Genocide to this feed?
At the previous one for SGDQ, I hadn't played the game for months, and I was like, yeah, I'll do a run, and then I got a no-hit Sans. I was like, huh, that happened. Oh my god, that... Alright. Good music.
Yeah.
If it can be called music. Alright, now we just get hushed audience. Or the music track starting again. That's it. Either or.
Yeah, no, it's going to a new part of the...
7, 8, 9... So I think this is the last turn? Yep, here we go. So, Bradley does have a considerable reserve of HP here. I've got no doubt that he's going to finish this. And I literally don't know how I'm even going to jinx that, because 74 HP, this is a lot of HP for the last attack. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
No, I think you're fine.
Again!
Bradley's not gonna die.
That's it. Well played by Bradley. Now, realistically, there is only one obstacle still standing between him and a win. Do not move too early when Sans falls asleep. If you hit the side of the box before he actually falls asleep, it completely resets his sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Which loses a lot of time.
That would be really... I hope it doesn't happen. Like, you know, of course it would be funny to see, but it would just be very sad.
Yeah. I mean, still far ahead. Literally, all you've got to do is just wait for the animation change. Just wait till you see those Z's and then you're good to go. Bernard finishing with +1 HP as well. That's a good finish. Indicates that not much damage was taken throughout the whole fight at all. So yeah, like, overall, this has been a very good race. I'm not gonna lie. This was, yeah, really good. Like, little bit of a gap was opening for the first, like, half of the game. It got reversed by really bad RNG and Waterfall for Bernard, and then Bradley just managed to keep it together and not really surrender that lead. That was a very good showing. Very tenacious showing.
Yeah.
Too many errands, yeah, but as I say, it kind of makes one think about if it is the correct strategy to ignore them when they turn up. Like, I'm really not sure. It's weird because even if it's confirmed to be faster optimally, that doesn't necessarily say anything about if it's consistent is the thing. Like, it could be that, you know, when you get good RNG, it does wind up being faster, but what is the probability of that being good RNG? And what's the probability of you getting punished for making that decision? I have no idea what the numbers are. So for the purpose of racing like this, I don't know if it's a sound strategy or not. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to do another prediction. One which is going to shock you all. There it is, level 20. I mean, potentially, the run is locked in by the time you get past Metaton. That's not going to get changed by anything, but all right. Bradley is going to get 108.27, I think. 108.26, 108.27. It's going to be between 108.25 and 108.30, though.
Meanwhile,
like, this is a mid 108.
Meanwhile, Bernard's probably going to get like 108, I think 40. High 40, low 50.
Something like that, yeah. And yeah, if Undying Quick Kill had happened, this would be really close. Really damn close. I'm not sure it would be close enough, but it would be very, very close. No, looking at the timers, it wouldn't have been close enough, unfortunately. It would have been within a few seconds, though. I'm honestly very surprised at how many races in this tournament have been as closely contested as they have been. Like, it's really surprising me how close some of these are coming down to the wire, as consistently as they are.
B.
All right, here we go. Final finishing time. Yeah, I told you guys that was going to be the region. 108.26. And it's very important that we switch over to the other audio now.
I mean, it just switches over because Bradley's marked as a done.
Mm-hmm. And there we go.
108.44.
So yeah, Undying Quick Kill would not quite have made the difference there, but as I mentioned, it would have made it damn close. So wow.
That was a hell of a good race.
Yeah, very good showing from both those guys. Well done. Big congratulations to Bradley for the win, for sure. And it looks like, I see someone in the setup channel. I think someone's coming in here for a little bit.
A little bit of an interview.
Hello.
All right. Hello.
All right. What is up?
Congratulations.
I was on Sands. I was afraid that I was gonna shake too much, and I'd accidentally press the up arrow more than one time.
You have to control your oscillations, though. I see. Very well done.
GG's.
I'm not gonna run Hundo. Why do you keep asking?
Why not? Forehead. I am forever going to hate Waterfall.
I golded Waterfall.
I was very surprised at just how much difference that made. Yeah, I could not believe how bad your RNG was there.
I only had the one Aaron kill, and that was right at, well, actually the 2 kills, because I should have got the Temi, but the thing was, I didn't want to. I took the risk and it backfired, but I should have got quick kill even. I'm just not consistent with quick kill. It's frustrating.
It's okay. So I was saying towards the end there, being that there was a difference there of you basically finished 18 seconds apart. I'm not sure even with the quick kill that it would have been enough difference. It would have been extremely closely contested with the quick kill.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have flipped the result.
Because I was actually debating going for a different Waterfall strat, but I went against it because obviously killing Washer was faster than killing Aaron, and killing both seems kind of impractical, but you do you, I guess.
It's these kind of scenarios that make me question if it is actually a sound race strategy to not kill the Aarons that the game basically offers up for you. It's like I legit don't know if the numbers support it for a race.
Because the first Aaron I missed because obviously he put me at an odd number in case I got a Temi later on, and then getting one at 13 sort of helped, but then getting another one at 16, it's like, do I take it or do I just?
In the moment, it's really difficult to assess those situations.
Yeah, considering it was still fairly close at that point. Because I think going out of Snowden, it was 30 seconds, but then I saw Bradley went for the double kill at the start, and he got a double after the shoe. So it's like, okay, well, he's 3 kills ahead of me. So it's all going to come down to RNG in the second half. So I'm going to have to just trust my gut and go with whatever I have to go with.
Mm-hmm.
But GG's, man.
Sometimes it just doesn't pay off.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, GG. That was a good.
Yeah.
Good run.
I ironically enough, I actually golded my sand split by less than a second.
I golded mine too.
I was just going in there with the noodles, and I'm thinking, wait, Bradley didn't pick the noodles up? I'm thinking, you'd better heal before you go to the Judgment Hall, because I saw you 10 HP. I was like, I don't want to win by having someone die to Sands when I'm behind. I would rather it be a close race like that than having someone die.
I had a really good Sands, but I kind of choked on the last attack.
Bradley, I want to ask something that Draco was thinking about for a bit. By the time you reached the second part of the fight, were you gonna go for were you debating on going just for a complete no hit, or were you gonna just let the menu bones take you for this?
I was gonna let the menu bones take me.
Terrible.
I would have. I completely whiffed on the one where you've got the blue bones you have to jump backwards with. But then the funny thing is I ended up on 69 HP, so I was like, well, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I think I had 74 health at his last attack. Then I took way too much damage.
Yeah, I was afraid that as that attack was progressing that I'd jinxed you, because I was like, oh, there's definitely enough HP to survive, and then it was coming off in little bits. I was like, all right, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, we've had our fair share of commentators' curses throughout the tournament so far, so...
You had a lot of them during that race, let me tell you that.
Oh. So wait, do I blame Draco or do I blame Waterfall, Kappa?
You may as well just watch the VOD and judge for yourself.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I was watching the whole thing, and I heard everything. I heard all the curses.
Because I lost 44 seconds to Waterfall. That was the only significant time loss I had for my PB. I lost 20 seconds to Muffet somehow. Oh, that's right, because I didn't get early pan. Duh.
Dude, to a certain extent, it's I don't want to hear it. In my race yesterday, I lost 1.5 minutes in core because I miscounted twice.
Oh no!
I fled from so many encounters that I needed.
It's funny because I saw Bradley get the triple, and it's like, okay, come on, give me a bone, give me some of the triples. Next encounter, single magic, single night. It's just like, really?
Yeah,
Really?
your encounter RNG in Core looked like it was a lot worse, but the execution, for the most part, seemed pretty good. Like, I saw you were actually getting quite a few quads where you needed them.
Yeah, well, I got the single night quad, which was good because that saved me a turn, and then obviously up in Warrior's Path, I got the 2 quads there, but it just wasn't enough in the end, unfortunately.
I know. In my race yesterday, I got 3 singles in core.
Oh, see, you got them out of the way now. I didn't really have any. Well, actually, I think my other race this morning or this afternoon, I kind of got a bit of bad RNG in core, but I mean, that's the name of the category, really. It's just RNG. It's like, are you going to get a triple? Are you going to get a single? Or are you going to get one of 4 doubles?
Yeah, whenever I saw that single mold that I got in Ruins, I'm like, uh-oh, here's the big gap.
I got a single at 18 as well. I was thinking, please no, not now, please.
But then, turns out we were only like 5 seconds apart, and I was relieved.
Yeah, and then Snowden, I think I picked up a little bit there, because I did get a few triples early on, but my encounter RNG seemed to stay fairly even. Yeah, GG, man.
Probably gonna like head to bed or something, so I can like do school stuff tomorrow.
Congrats to both of you guys. That was a very entertaining race for sure. There was like back and forth. That was very good.
Yeah, I'll report the match real quick before I forget, because I'm probably going to turn it in soon as well. Make sure I do it right, because I don't want to accidentally give myself the win. Just be like, oh, whoops.
Uh-oh, whoops. Accidentally gave myself the win. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess now it's got to wait and see how the rest of the groups play out, and if there's anything else that comes up.
If I win one more...
Our group is almost done, Group E. The last match that has to happen is next week. Me and Bradley are at this point, I think even if I beat Bradley, the record will have you two in the bracket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, even if I win again, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't expect you to lose against me.
Well, anything can happen. Just remember that. I mean...
I'll just PB by another minute.
Just get like another 1.5 minute PB and just have Bradley get like 5 singles kappa.
If I skip the 109, no, I'm not going to skip the 109.
I mean, if you skip the 109, I'll be happy, because I'll always be happy whenever someone PBs, but I mean, like, that was actually my biggest hurdle for a while, was 108. It's like, I just want to get a 108 already, and yeah, it just...
Yeah, 107 was a struggle for me, but then I got like 3 triples in core. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think as soon as you hit like that sort of 109, 108 time, it's like, it really comes down to RNG at that point, in terms of if you really want to try and push further.
Yeah, the only thing in my PB that's bad is Ruins. Like, my PB is a 10:59.
It's funny, because all my Ruins races times have been around 11 minutes, but my Ruins PB is a 9:56, so I'm just internally crying every time I get out of Ruins in this tournament. It's just like, why must you forsake me again?
I firmly believe that it's like likely to happen. I think you have a higher probability of like finishing at least 11 minutes in Ruins than basically anything better than that.
The race that I had with Yisk, I got like a 10:49. I was happy.
Yeah, if I didn't get that single, at 18, then that would have been different. But then, to be fair, we both got it, so.
I mean,
I just cursed as soon as I saw it come up. I'm just like, obviously I can't say it on here because it's a curse word, but yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, basically.
I know whenever I like miss some quads, I was just like swearing, like, "Oh my god, I suck."
Yeah.
Like, I practiced quads for like 30 minutes, and here I am just.
Because I saw you missing a few astigmatisms in there as well, and it's just like, oh.
I was just shaking way too much.
Yeah.
But then, like, halfway through core, I just controlled myself, and then I was able to hit quads again.
Yeah. That was a really good race, though. I really enjoyed commentating. There's a lot of other races coming up throughout the week. I posted in chat the schedule link as well as the link to follow these runners. Again, thank you for putting on this amazing race. Also, thank you, Draco, for being on the commentary with me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is no problem. Thank you guys for having me here. And you guys in the chat watching, don't go anywhere in the coming days and weeks, because we've got a lot more of this coming up.
Yep. And now I've got a VOD to watch and determine who's to blame for my bad luck.
Doesn't look like on the schedule we have anything more for tomorrow, so I guess come back for today, I should say. So come back tomorrow, where we have at least 2 scheduled races for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Including me. I'm playing tomorrow.
Yay!
Good luck.
Yay!
I'll probably be at school.
I'm going to be away until the 3rd, so you'll probably see me again on the 4th when I'm doing commentary for the race on the 4th.
The race of...
Oh, the group of death, yes. Thanks,
I think I'm going to take my leave. So, again, thanks to you guys for racing. Thanks to Laurie for joining me. Everyone helping make this tournament such a good experience. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yep, and thanks again to SpeedGaming for hosting the tournament, and hopefully we'll see you guys around in the future races.
Yeah. So, I want to thank everyone for having me here. My mom is shouting at me to thank you guys.
I was gonna ask, are you getting another dad hug for your victory?
I don't know. My dad hasn't texted me. He's probably asleep on the couch.
I mean, I would expect it, but who knows? I mean, I guess you could say this is kind of an upset considering, because I think when you came into the tournament, you were on like a low 108 or something.
No, my
like
dad
that.
just said big hug coming. I'm scared now.
All right.
I mean, this is quite the upset when you think about it, so I'd take it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm out, but
So
GG
you're getting
again.
a bear hug.
Yeah, GG.
And thanks for having us, and we'll see you guys around, hopefully.
Yeah,
See ya.
see you guys.